You know, I remember when I first started really chasing financial success in my 20s, even though I was working so hard, every Thursday night I had to be home and in front of the TV set because back then they didn't have TiVo. Can you imagine that? You had to actually be there to watch it. My favorite show was Cheers, and of all the people on Cheers, my favorite was Sam Malone. I mean, come on, Sam was the ultimate ladies guy, was single back then. He always had the quick wit. He was just a guy's guy. Everyone loves Sam Malone. And the person who made that character come to life was Ted Danson. And he will always be known for that. He won several Emmys, several Golden Globes, and certainly he's done other shows, but he will always be Sam Malone to me. But I gotta tell you, Ted Danson has done a lot more with his life than just create an amazing character. Tonight, you'll find out about his story and why he has had an impact on millions of people's lives on the power of one. So tonight we're going to talk about an actor who has attained a lot of personal fame and fortune, but unlike a lot of actors, this person has really used their celebrity in a very powerful way. Before we go to that though, I just want to say for those people who are sending in your comments, and I'm so thankful you're commenting on the shows and sending emails and all that kind of good stuff, but a lot of people are like, you know, Mark, at the seminars you tell us we need to be laser focused and to turn the TV off and there's not a lot of valuable things there. And I just want you to understand, I'm talking about watching the news and getting caught up with all the negative, depressing stuff that's going on, but there's valuable stuff on TV. I'm a guy who likes to be entertained. I love sitcoms, I love really good dramas, and there's some good stuff on TV. And once again, I know a lot of success people will tell you take your TV and throw it away, and that works for them, not me. I like to watch stuff. So tonight I'm going to tell you about Ted Danson, and yes, he was Sam on Cheers, and that's one of my favorite shows of all time. I mean, come on, you had Cliffy and Norm and Carla. What a smart aleck Carla was. And then you had Woody, who replaced Coach. They were both perfect in their roles. And you had Diane, and she got replaced by Rebecca. Oh my gosh, what a show. What great writing, what great everything. But the person who really made the show work was obviously Ted Danson. And since then, he's gone on and done Becker. I love him on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's one of my favorite shows as well. You can tell my sense of humor, all the real dry, smart alecky stuff. I like that. But also, he's been on Damages, which is a great dramatic show, and he's done a tremendous job on that as well. So there's no doubting that Ted Danson is a phenomenal actor. That's very obvious. He's had a career of over 30 years, won all kinds of awards. He has a star on the Walk of Fame. You know, he's got it all going on. But I was really impressed years ago because I was with an incredible company that was selling environmental products, and we had the opportunity to be the anchor sponsor for Ted Danson's Foundation's event. They do a celebrity golf tennis tournament every year, and the company that he helped found is the American Oceans Campaign, or known as Oceana for a shorter version, so maybe you've heard of it that way. But we went out there and you know, we met lots of wonderful people and helped raise a whole bunch of money for a worthy cause. But I really saw that Ted Danson was really committed to his work. He's not just the person who's attaching his name to a foundation. He was integrally involved. I remember sitting there and chatting with him at a cocktail party, and he was letting me and my buddy know that he would actually go out on street corners and just talk to people about the environment and talk to people about how the ocean is where you can really get a good barometer of what's going on with the entire planet, and he would explain why he was drawn to the oceans more so than anything else pertaining to the environment. And I won't, you know, go through all the details on that right now, but if you go to their website, you can certainly get lots and lots of information. And I just remember feeling so good about my chosen career because at one of our events, Ted stood up and said, you know, you guys are selling environmental products, and I hope you become the wealthiest people in the world because someone's got to do something about the environment. Now, this was about 15 years ago, and obviously now we all understand global warming, or a lot of us do, and you know, it's a major topic of conversation, but back then it really wasn't. So not only is Ted committed to saving the environment, but he was doing it long before it was in vogue. I mean, he really was a pioneer on doing something about the environment. And folks, I just want to share this with you once again. Don't want to get into a whole bunch bunch of controversial stuff. But whether there is global warming or there's not, all that kind of good stuff, I think it's pretty undeniable that something is going on. And the reality is we all have to understand that we are borrowing this planet. You know, we all talk about how we inherited it, but really we didn't inherit it. We are borrowing it to give to the next generation. And when you think about some of the ways we are just raping the earth of all of its resources, and we are being so, whatever you want to call it, I mean, we're so focused on our own levels of comfort and whatever that we are really doing a lot of damage to the planet. I mean, I love my lifestyle, and I'm sure you love your lifestyle, but the reality is we've got to get serious about this. You can't just look to your neighbor to do it. You can't wait for your politicians to do it. You've got to be the change you're looking to evoke. I believe it was Gandhi who said that. If you want to make a change, you need to become that change. And I just want to really reach out to you. And once again, it's not a place for me to get on a soapbox. I'm talking about Ted Danson. I'm just a regular guy who's no big deal. But here's someone who's used a celebrity to get out there and impact millions of people who would probably never have listened to anything about the environment, but now they're fervent believers because they got the messenger. The messenger was such a powerful, well-known person that now they understand the environment. If you don't understand the environment, go to that website, go to the Oceana website and check this stuff out and participate and understand that it comes down to the whole theme of our show. One person, you, really can make a difference. And I understand if you're just recycling in your own, kitchen, you may not see how that's going to save the planet, but it's the same old story. If everyone were doing it, and we do live in a monkey see, monkey do kind of world, folks, the more people who start doing it, everybody else, because the majority of people are followers, so everybody else will eventually do what you're doing. It's a really simple concept, but so many of us get caught up with that whole theme of, well, I'm one person, what am I going to do? What does it matter what I'm saying? Well, what if Ted Danson felt that way? What if he left it to the other celebrities to say something about it? And once again, you got to understand that overall mindset of it's not my deal and I'm not important. That's the whole reason we started this show in the first place, to give you every example from every angle of life you could possibly get to understand your life matters, your contribution matters. So tonight, we're talking about the environment. Some other night, we'll be talking about something else. But the reality is, I just want you to play follow the leader and follow Ted Danson and do something in your own community about the environment, because the reality is we can only keep exhausting the resources of the earth for so much longer, and somebody's going to be in trouble. Maybe we'll see it in our lifetime, maybe it'll be our children, maybe it'll be our children's children, but somebody has got to pay for our excessiveness down the line unless somebody like you and me does something about it right now. So once again, tonight, maybe one of our more direct messages, but I feel strongly about it, and I have been to these fundraisers, and I have been to the American Oceans Campaign events, and I have educated myself, and I understand what's going on. If you haven't taken the time to do that, then you should, because forget about your town or your city or even your country. This is our planet. And once again, somebody's got to step up and get serious about it. So hopefully tonight you'll understand the wonderful things Ted Danson has done, and you'll want to step in line and be a leader in your community. You and I aren't famous, but the bottom line is our contribution still counts just as much as anybody else's. So I appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you next week on The Power of One.